No scripts required. No scripts required. A podcast with real conversations, zero rehearsals, and absolutely no scripts. And now, here are your hosts.
Good evening, everybody. I gotta come up with a better way to bring this in. The whole good evening, everybody. I don't want to get too crazy. Do you remember how Adam the Bull used to do it when he'd bring in when he did the Bull and Fox show? You guys remember listening to that way back then? Live from down, that whole thing. I used to tease him about it too. I say, why don't you do that anymore? He's like, I almost blew out my vocal cords.
Yeah, I can imagine.
That's what he said. He goes, my wife loved it because I couldn't talk, but he goes, I did it, and then I went to the doctor because I was losing my voice, and he goes, you got to stop with the live downtown Cleveland thing because he says it's going to blow you're going to kill your throat. I got to come up with something, but I'll think about it over the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll be gone after this week for a couple weeks, 3 weeks. I don't know. There might be a chance I could join on the 2nd, but we'll see. It all depends on what you guys decide to do. But anyway, welcome to the April 11th edition of No Scripts Required. No Jim tonight. He has to go pick up his kid from somewhere and
domestic duties.
Yeah, he's got family crap to do, which is cool. But Dustin is with us, and so is Jesse, as you can see, and that's all that matters. That we're not doing this solo. But anyway, yeah, tonight is pretty much pretty even, easy going, not really a whole ton on this to do, planned, I should say. We're going to talk about some more info about the Switch 2, some things about that since last week we did a kind of a deep dive on the Nintendo Direct about it, but there's been some new released information about it, or some new stuff that's been trickling out since they've had some more deeper things about showing more of what it can do and stuff. I got an article about 9 things you might not know about the Switch 2, but I was reading through it and I'm like, I think I knew most of these already. Some things that some confirmations on pricing that they did for the games and stuff. We'll get into that. We're also going to talk about the upcoming NFL draft, which is in 2 weeks. Mainly talking about the Browns, because I think that's what team we mostly all follow, but there's been a little bit of news there, and I think it's kind of affects it. We're not going to get really, we'll just kind of talk, give our thoughts, think about what's going to happen. Most probably at the top of the draft and stuff like that. Just kind of get an idea there.
I'm really more interested in round 6 and 7.
Yeah, just where the Browns have more of their picks. So I want to see them draft the next Jaworski Lane out of Alcorn State.
Touchdown.
Yeah, he's always going to be your what was your team name at the time? Your fantasy football team. You picked them up. I forget. You changed it every year. You had the voice, the mullet. There was there was quite a few. Really.
My most recent fantasy team has been Deshaun Watson's Rub and Tugs,
which is a good one.
Yeah. My team logo was a massage table.
Nice.
You had some really good ones too. You had some. Yeah, there's some. I might be able to pull up that
rather offensive ones that I don't think we should be.
Oh no! I was going to avoid those at all costs as well.
You can go on to history of the team and you can look at it.
Right. No, I've got. Yeah, I can do it. I know there's out there. We had a couple questions there. Pastor Jennings says, "Is there a Rev report tonight?" And I was going to get to that. Yes, Rev actually did a Rev report. But Jack unfortunately couldn't get into the studio to record a Jack segment or give his 2 cents, but he's very pleased. He says he'll be back.
Are you happy?
He'll be back sooner than later now. But we'll see. Rev, he needs Rev to do it consistently. But we do have a Rev report tonight. It's about a minute long, so it's what we expect out of him. Also got some news stories. Jesse, you got some more pretty awesome old clips of commercials and stuff from way back when in the meme segment. I do have a little news on this Fortnite thing where they added Sabrina Carpenter to it, but what people are doing, it's kind of stupid. But yeah. Anyway, so that's pretty much it tonight. I'm not going to have a ton going on unless we kind of get on a rant, or like a subject about things and go from there. But so why don't we kick it off with just basically, I will say, early, I don't know, about a couple months ago when Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 got released, I say finally, I beat the main story. I beat the game, the main storyline finally. Took me, I think I played like almost 285 hours of the game.
Good lord.
It's not like it's one of those open world games, and there's a lot of really cool things to do. I would go down like on my lunch break and play for like an hour, and then after work I go play for an hour, and then I would dive into it. But I played the last weekend. I actually beat the game. I didn't realize how close I was to the end, but I will say that the storytelling, it's all, and I actually looked up the events from the game, and they're actually historically accurate. Like the Siege of Suchdol is one of the final things that you do in the game, and it obviously you're in a fortress in this town of Suchdol, Sukdol, I don't know how you pronounce it, but you're getting laid siege by the Polish army or the Prague army or whatever. I'd say Polish, Prager as they're called, and then you've got to like survive it and just like the missions you got to do and stuff. And when you beat that, you kind of the game kind of ends, but you can still, when the game's main story is over, there's a lot of cutscene and stuff, which I thought was really well done. And then you can, the game loads after the fact. You can still kind of go back to the world and finish any side quests. And the reason they did this is they're going to be releasing a bunch of DLC for this game. I decided that, while I've already beaten the second one, I'm going to go back and play the first one. So I started playing the first one, and I will say it is a train wreck trying to learn these controls because I'm still used to the second game's controls. So I'm doing things completely differently. The controls are different, which I was kind of hoping they would be the same, but I'm really enjoying the first one too. It tells a backstory of things that happened leading up to the second game because you're playing the same character. And the events that happened in 2, like you're trying to avenge the murder of your parents.
Aww.
And the very first thing you see in the game is the murder of your parents. And there's a couple characters that you see early in the game that you actually get revenge on in the second game, which is kind of cool.
Medieval Batman.
Yes. Kind of a medieval Batman. Henry of Skalitz is not like Batman. He's kind of a douche. He's kind of an idiot. He's kind of a bumbling idiot in the first game. He doesn't know how to do anything right. But well done games, I will say this. So if you're looking for something to play, I'm saying it's Skyrim meets Red Dead Redemption meets, I don't know what other game I could throw in there. It's very story driven, a lot of cutscenes, but it's really well done. And actually, I was surprised. There's one you can romance certain characters in the game, including you can romance men as well if you really are into that stuff. People are online complaining about it. I'm like, if you don't want to see
do it.
Don't do it. I mean, you don't have to do it. You just select the different option. You don't have to do it. And it tells you which the option is that's romancing. There's a little heart next to it. You want to romance that path, you click that option. If you don't want to do it, click the different one. I don't know.
So that's why I always liked the game Fable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Loved Fable.
Yeah,
I hoard around that entire game. Had kids everywhere. Didn't take care of any of them.
Well, the cool thing is when you go in Kingdom Come, they have these bathhouses you go to, and obviously that's how you go to get because you have hygiene is an important part of this game. Like you have to wash yourself. If you stink, like you walk around, people are like, what? Why do you smell? They like look at you and they'll like know you're there. Like some of the missions you have to do are stealth missions, and if you smell the people at your sneaker, they'll smell you and they'll find you via the smell. It's actually pretty funny.
That's funny.
And if you walk up to people and talk to them, they're like, "You need to go take a bath. You stink." Like they'll tell you to your face that you smell. They smell like shit, pretty much. But you go to these bathhouses, and obviously there's 3 choices. One is I need a bath. Number 2 is I need a bath and wash my clothes. And the third one is I want a company of a bath girl or bath wench or whatever. And you go, okay, so it's a combination of they wash your clothes, and as the little timer goes, you hear some the moaning and stuff, and then when it's over, it like comes in. You see the bath girl or whatever they're called. She's standing there, or bath maid, and she's standing there, and they'll have different one-liners. Like one of them is like, I'm gonna go find something to eat. I always get hungry after a good fuck. Like they say. And or some of them is like, whoa, I didn't expect that much. Next time, warn me. I'll get a towel. Stuff like that. Or they will have different like things that they'll say about you, like in your. It's pretty funny. But as you're like romancing some of these other characters, like one of them is like the daughter of this nobleman that it's part of the story. And I chose to go that path with it. And you have to go back to her, like the castle with her. Because she knows like the secret way in. You go with her. And then as you get through, you got to clear out the people that were in there, whatever. And then you go and you like will talk with her. And then if you select the right things, like one of the options is to kiss her. Well, you kiss. And then the two of you kind of go at it. And I'm thinking, okay, it's going to be like the Beth. No, it's like digital boobies and stuff. They like show it you go into town. You see like your little butt moving up and down. I'm like, whoa, hey now. Yeah, and there's little boobies flopping around and stuff. And I'm like, all right, digital boobies, it's kind of cool. I wasn't expecting that, but again, a very well done game.
So in other words, it's Skyrim meets Red Dead Redemption meets what was it, Larry Sanders?
Leisure Suit Larry. Not to that point, because it's
that almost got suspended in high school.
I remember that too.
Yeah.
And if you go back and look at those games, there's like nothing really. Those games.
Back then it was like, oh my god, what are you doing?
It's just because you're like a pimp and you're like trying to be like a gigolo or something.
Yeah, I know. I love those games.
Oh yeah, square boobs and stuff or triangle boobs. Was it the Tomb Raider when everybody thought, oh, Lara Croft, and she had like triangle boobs?
Triangle boobs.
It's like everybody's like, oh, it's so hot. Like, yeah, okay. So if you haven't picked up, if you're into that kind of game, I mean, you can get it on the PC, you can get it on the consoles and stuff. There's arguments for the PC is going to have mods that I'm seeing that are kind of floating out there, and one of the mods is everybody's naked and walks around naked and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty funny. You'll see like people walking around like fighting, like you're fighting with like swords and stuff, and their dicks are flopping around. It's like, oh man. But so really enjoyed the game. I'm looking forward to the DLC when it comes out, and there's most likely they left it wide open to make a third one because the way the story leaves, unless they're going to wrap it up with a DLC, it's wide open for a third one. And from my understanding, they made a shit ton of money. And last ratings I saw, they got like a 10 out of 10. Multiple sites get like a perfect score.
Cool.
So that's what I've been doing. How about you guys? What you guys been up to?
Just working.
Yeah, work has sucked, but free time has pretty much been Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Oh, the new one?
Yeah, Shadows.
Isn't it? To me, it looks like I played. The game I want to get back to is Ghost of Tsushima. I played about.
I've got to get back to that one, but especially before the new one comes out.
I might start over because it's been a while. That game was absolutely gorgeous. Just the graphics and
the graphics on this one on Assassin's Creed are great.
Yeah, I've seen clips. It looks like it. I just can't. The only Assassin's Creed game that really hooked me, and I don't know if it's a bias thing, is the Odyssey because it takes place in ancient Greece. That's the only one that's kind of hooked me. I tried to play the one you're in the desert, in Egypt, I think it is. I can't think of the name.
This one's pretty cool, and I like the way that once you get to a certain point, and pretty much from everybody that I've been seeing, it's been like between 15 and 20 hours in, you gain the secondary character. So you can actually switch between two characters. One of them is samurai, and then the other one is Noe, the ninja style for more stealth. So you can switch back and forth depending on what mission you're going on or what side mission you're doing. You can switch back and forth.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like it. And I'm trying to remember which one it was. My sister-in-law made a really good comparison. because she didn't like all of the Assassin's Creed, but she was like, if you liked, I think it was Odyssey and Valhalla,
Yeah, I never
you'll
played
like.
Valhalla. I started Valhalla. I think I got maybe 15 minutes into it or something. And I never went back to it. I just I think I got sidetracked with something else is what it was. I thought that I didn't like it, but I liked Odyssey the best. My son played it and I was watching him play it and I just kind of like was, this game's um, pretty good. Yeah. So let's see. Oh, Rev is here. Not good, Rev. Paper Boys by Main Gake. Okay. What was I saying? Yeah. So I mean, I watched Odyssey. I played a little bit of it, but I can't think of the Mirage. Assassin's Creed Mirage is the one that I started playing through. I didn't like it. I don't know what it was about it. Maybe the story. I guess it didn't really.
No, this one you have to kind of be patient with the beginning. It's a lot of cutscenes,
Yeah. Yeah.
a lot of the story. But if you can get through that, I think the gameplay on this one's really good. The story's really good, especially once you get that secondary character and you can change back and forth because, I mean, he's a beast.
Hmm.
So you can kind of, I wouldn't say really overreach with where you're going, but you're not too overly worried if you kind of like, if you're whatever, if you're level 12 and you happen to run across like some 13, 14 this type characters, you're not incredibly overmatched. You're overmatched,
But not
but
like the point where
but
you're.
you can win those fights.
Yeah, like I noticed my son when he was playing in Odyssey, he would go up against, he'd be like a level like 14, he would come across like a level 16, and he would just get absolutely his ass handed to him. Like, it's like, what is
Well,
he's like? Yeah,
if you're Noe, the girl, the ninja, you will. I mean, she doesn't have the armor. She
yeah,
doesn't have the heavier weapons, and he's a monster. He will just tear through people. Like
yeah.
you can raid one of the castles and just start just mowing down people.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. My son hasn't asked for it. I might just wait for that one to go cheaper than $60. I'm not gonna lie, or if it becomes free on one of the systems, I might worry to do it then. But yeah, not.
Yeah, but it's a good one. It's been a very long time since I've had one of those games where it's like I sit down to play it and all of a sudden I look at my phone and it's 1 a.m.
Oh yeah, that was me with Kingdom Come. I was
I haven't done that in a long
sucked.
time since Call of Duty.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Kingdom Come was just like that with me. You get sucked into the story and just kind of blow it. I think that's how I was with Red Dead 2. I started playing Red Dead 1 again, and then Kingdom Come came out. And I just kind of stopped playing Red Dead 1 because I'm like, this game's
I
better.
just started. I started playing Red Dead 2 right before Assassin's Creed came out, so I've got to go back to that one at some point. But
I've already beat Red Dead 2. I think you have too, right? The story.
see, I kept thinking that was the one I beat, but now that I've started playing it again, I've realized it was one that I beat, and I've
Oh,
never beat.
really? You never
No,
played through 2? Oh
for the
man.
life of me, I would have bet money that I had beaten this game and completed it. And now that I've started playing it again, I realized no, I've maybe only made it probably halfway through this game.
Oh damn. There's some really awesome missions that and cool stuff that do. And the final mission, I'm not going to ruin it. You may already know how the final mission ends up, but I'm not going to say it. I mean, with
No, I
you,
don't because I kept thinking it
okay.
was the other.
Oh, well, two is a prequel to one, right?
Yeah,
Because after you play through 2, you get to play as John Marston, and then you get to kind of go do. Remember how he shows up and he's like, "I got a family and a farm back on wherever he says it is." You actually go and build up the farm. You have missions you got to do to get the farm with your wife and your kid and whoever else survived from the party that I forget. There's only a handful of people that come with you, and like the ones you're looking for in one, like Dutch and Bill Williamson, they go off and do their own thing. And I don't know if Micah, I don't think Micah survives, but yeah, you'll see as you go through. I don't want to ruin the story for you, but you may have. I mean, you may have seen like you become like so attached. Arthur's like one of the greatest video game characters ever.
Oh yeah.
And then his whole story is so tragic at the end, but it's such an awesome, the way they do it. The final mission is just so freaking cool. It's like you're in a movie and you're like, as you keep moving, what you're doing and what happened to Arthur throughout the game, you'll notice certain things start to happen to Arthur throughout the game, and you'll eventually figure out what is wrong with him. And you're just like, oh shit. And then as the last mission kind of goes on, it's like you're watching a movie. And when you go through it, you do the choices you do depending on what you do at the end, because there's multiple endings that you can pick different paths to do. The one I did was the most satisfying to me, at least, because based on what happens throughout the story. And then when it ends, you're just kind of like, oh shit. And then the cutscenes go through whatever, and then you're John Marston and you do your crap. But then once you're done with all that, it's like, okay, I can run around the whole map and do whatever I want to do, and I've already been to all these places again. And then you're just kind of like, okay, that sucks. They never did any DLC for this game, like they were promising that they never did, and they let the online just die and whatever. So hopefully Red Dead 3 comes out, and I don't know what they're going to do. I've heard different stories. Like it was supposed to be.
Rockstar keeps
they're
overpromising and hitching their wagon to GTA.
Well, now that's what they're doing. Is GTA 6 is going to be what they're going to release, and once that comes out, that's going to make them a shit ton of money. And then they're going to milk that with the online, kind of like they did with 5. And then maybe we'll get lucky and get a Red Dead 3 and see it maybe in like 2027. We'll see. I don't know. They've said they've worked on it and stuff. I don't know what they're going to do with it. They really can't make it a sequel to Red Dead 1 because it's like, okay, Red Dead 1 ends, and then it's like, all right, now it's like 1905 or something, or it's like, okay. Maybe it's a prequel to, maybe you play as Dutch and you kind of, that whole story. I don't know how they're going to do it or what they're going to do. Or maybe you play it as how Arthur joined up with Dutch, and because you don't really get that story. You kind of hear about the story throughout the game, but you don't actually get to see things. You hear about events that happen, but you never experience them because they happened prior. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll be curious. And I'll definitely get a Red Dead 3 because I'm sure it's going to be freaking amazing. Probably won't come out to like the PlayStation 6 at this point.
Well, and it would make sense if they're going to do it. They should do it as a prequel that ends with because when you start the game, whenever you get back up with everybody, they keep talking. And I'm drawing a blank right now, but they keep talking about the debacle that happened with the last
in Blackwater, right?
Blackwater. That's
yeah. That's why you can't enter that.
They've got something outlined that they could go back to.
Well, they tell you this. You kind of get bits and pieces throughout the game. You'll hear conversations, like you can walk around the camp. Well, I don't know how far you've gotten, but you can walk around the camp and you can hear like other characters talking to each other, and they'll talk about you're not involved. You're just standing there, but you'll talk about the conversation. Oh, they'll talk about Blackwater, and they'll mention, oh, this happened and this happened and this happened. And so you'll kind of piece the story together, and from conversations you have with other characters. So there is a story. It's already there. It's in place. I even think in Red Dead 1, he kind of mentions, he tells, what's the woman's name, that the farm, then you end up at the farm. Damn, I can't think of her name right now. She's the one that helps you and finds you, and then you do all those missions for her on the farm before you go to Mexico. I can't think of her name. McFarlane's Bonnie McFarlane. You tell her, she asks you some questions, and you can choose to tell her, you can choose to not tell her. I think there's like a story that he kind of like fills in some of the blanks, but yeah, I agree. I'm hoping that that's maybe what it is, because I know it's why they're on the run in Red Dead 2, and they're in that little hunting village or hunting cabin up in the snow. That's why they're on the run from there, and that's why you can't go in that one region of the map. Otherwise, you get like immediately attacked by like the U.S. Marshals. They come shooting at you, so you can't go there.
Yeah,
because you're wanted. So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, Red Dead. yeah, when you get back to it, it's I'd be curious to hear your playthrough because it's I just that game was just I played through it twice. It's freaking awesome. Once I played through as good Arthur, a second time I played through it as not so good Arthur. So the different reactions were pretty funny when you see people see you in town and the stuff they say to you. It's pretty funny. All right. Let's see. All right. So why don't we get into the show? And we'll start off with the Switch crap. We mentioned.
I think you summed it up correctly. Crap.
We did last week. We kind of did a deep dive into the Switch 2, and I saw an article from Kotaku that talked about like 9 things that you might not know about the Switch. Now, I did know, I want to say at least 5 of these, maybe 6. You guys might be in the same boat, but. And the first one is, they're talking about playing, the friend things, like when you can play games with your friends, or how you add your friends to the game. Well, friend codes are still a thing. So if you want to like add a friend as a on your Switch, like, hey, here's my account. They have those codes you have to give out to people. So here's my friend code. Punch it in, you'll be my friend. They're turning those into QR codes. So instead of you having to write down or memorize this code, it's a QR, so they could just scan the thing and add you as a friend.
That's easier.
It really does. It makes sense to me.
It's easier, but it also kind of shows that they're grasping at things when it's.
Well, they're kind of just adding the technology that everybody's using right now.
And that's the main reason why I keep going back to, like, I'm just not impressed with any of this, because nothing they're doing is new.
Well, Nintendo never does. I mean, they do come up. There's a couple things that they're releasing that there is not on the other systems, but I think it's just because of how the Switch is a portable system and the other consoles are not meant to it. Like the whole chat thing that they have, or in this case, how they do the friends. Like, you don't have to look up, Jesse loves chicken XOXO5, and then there's Jesse loves chicken XOXO4. You got to keep or it's like if you don't enter it. I remember back in the day, you had to have it was like case sensitive too. If you didn't have the right case sensitive, you wouldn't find the person if you searched. But if you had, no, it's a capital T. Oh, okay. Oh, there you are. Yeah, type of thing. I don't know. I mean, to me, this is this is just how we've seen this as the multiple gameplay, multiplayer. You have the QR codes now, so it is, whatever. It's something I thought was like, okay, I didn't know that this was going to be something, but I always hated how the Switch did their friend requests or adding a friend or to your account or whatever. The next one is now the eShop. Now the Wii, the Wii Shop has this cool music. Right. So when you go to the eShop on the Switch, you get this, or used to get this cool music. Well, the Switch 2 is going to not have this.
Aw.
It's not going to have. They didn't want to. They said they didn't want to intrude on that content, is what they said. Yeah. To me, that was one of the cool things about going to the Wii Shop channel, is you hear the music and be like, yeah, cool. No, it's going to be just like, okay, pick a game and pick something you want to buy and buy it.
So in other words, they're just catching up to the PlayStation.
Oh, there's music in the PlayStation. There's that background stuff that's going on.
Is there?
Yeah, there is. It's the same music, the stuff you have when you're on the actual the home screen on the PlayStation. So Nintendo, that was one of the things I always thought about Nintendo was kind of cool. The third thing. Now, I don't have a care about this, but we know somebody else who will absolutely love this. Moving your Animal Crossing New Horizon island will be easy. So moving it from Switch 1 to Switch 2, you won't lose your Animal Crossing world.
Oh, thank God.
I know. I can think of somebody who'll be very pleased.
Yeah, I've got to go back and check my Animal Crossing island. I don't think I've looked at it in years.
I know I still remember going back to one I hadn't been on in like 10 years, and you go back there and people are like, where the hell have you been? And they like yell at you. Yeah, it's all weeds are all grown up and stuff, and they're like, you really let this place go. It's like I thought people would be dead or something around here. Right,
I might have to take a week off of work and catch up on my island.
Oh, both of them. Oops. All right. The next thing, Switch 2 is going to lack achievements like the Xbox and the PlayStation, which I always thought was weird. There are people out there that play games to try to get like all the platinums and the trophies and stuff and different achievements, but Nintendo's never been really big on that. But they're not going to have achievements. Something that I am, and I knew this, but I'm kind of happy about it, is Amiibos will work with the Switch 2. The 180 or plus that I own. I forget the exact number.
I'll be honest, I don't even know what an Amiibo does.
When you're playing certain games, so example is if I was playing one of the Zelda, like Breath of the Wild, and I have this Amiibo, which I think this is actually one of the new ones. But for example, I have an Amiibo who looks like this, and he's from the Zelda series. If I put him, like you grab the Amiibo and you got your controller with the little Joy-Cons. If you take the Amiibo and you put him over the one Joy-Con, it registers it, and you get things in the game. Like certain Amiibos will like drop, like in Breath of the Wild, it'll drop a chest, and in the chest it'll be random things. Like the Bokoblin one, you'll get a bunch of meat, like a bunch of food. Some of them will give you weapons. Some of them will give you exclusives. There's which game was I just playing? The Zelda Echo. What the hell's the new one? The one you play as Zelda, and I'm drawing a blank on the name of it. That one, you would use it. You could use, I think, 3 Amiibos a day per 24 hours or something, and you would get different things that you need in the game itself to use, like items that you can normally like pick up when you kill monsters, but you'll get this stuff. It just gives you things in the games. Like I think the Smash Brothers ones would give you that character, unlock that character in the Smash Brothers. Like Mario Kart, the Mario figures would do certain things. It all depends on the game itself. Like I could use a Zelda amiibo from the Link amiibo from Smash Brothers in the Zelda game, and it would just give me random items. That's all it does. And sometimes it gives you buffs. It just depends. Certain games have certain things for certain amiibos. Other ones just says, "Oh, it's an amiibo. We'll just let you use this stuff." That's what amiibos do. I just think they look cool. Yeah. Now the next one, which I knew this because we saw this earlier, is Nintendo confirms that Switch 2 games will taste really bad, just like the Switch 1. It's to keep people from swallowing them, and there's idiots out there that will because they're so little. There are people out there that would do it. I think it's more for little kids. Like here's a picture of a guy tasting it on air.
I was going to say, I'm kind of curious.
Now I am too.
I never was curious until they started to say that they've like intentionally made them taste bad.
Well, they did it.
Now I'm curious. I've never wanted to put a Switch game in my mouth more than I do at this moment.
I think you should go get one and do it right now and see. Just go and let's see. They did it. They did this back in 2017, so this is not new. Like they did this 8 years ago, and they did it, and it just makes it's really bitter. They have it's covered in like a really bitter substance, and the idea is to keep kids from swallowing them. Is what they're doing.
I get it. I'm not saying that it's not a good idea.
Yeah. Well,
I've never even considered it
I know. Well,
until all of a sudden, until they start talking about it, and now I'm just like, well, how bad does it taste?
it's like the Tide Pods all over again. No one in their right mind would think to eat Tide Pods. Like I never would think about eating laundry detergent, but there were some jackass kids out there that thought it was let's make it a challenge and eat these, and how many people died from it because you're freaking not supposed to eat freaking detergent. I mean, come on, it's not supposed to be eaten. There's a reason why they're in those protected like child-proof containers. They don't want kids to eat them. They're not candy. Kids are stupid. They don't know any better. But yeah, that's the fact that they did this, and it's like it was a known thing that okay, the Switch 2 control games are good. They're the same size. It's probably gonna be made from the same thing. I knew the Switch 1 ones tasted like shit. They were supposed to taste really bitter. And like you, I never once thought about putting it in my mouth. But I know there's a bunch of people out there that when they heard this, they had to do it, and they did videos, streams of them doing it. And it's just they're like, it just tastes really bitter, from my understanding. I've never done it. I've never wanted to either. So I'm with you. So the next one is that new C button that's on the controller. It's not going to be free. You've got to have the paid subscription to use it, which I think we knew that. We talked about it when they mentioned the chatting, the voice chatting that they're going to have, the video chatting that they're putting in. Unless you're a member of the whatever the service is, the Platinum, whatever their top service is that allows you to play online. You can't play online without this anyway, so you got to pay for it, and that's that.
Which is nothing. Once again, nothing new. I mean, anybody that complained about it. I mean, PlayStation and Xbox have been doing it forever.
Right. The C button. You've got to have a paid subscription to it, which again, not a big deal. The next one is that new GameCube controller that they're coming out. It's only they said that now it might not work with all games. I do know that it's supposed to work with only the ones in the Switch, or I'm sorry, the GameCube library. They're saying that a limited supply of modern GameCube controllers will be available for Switch 2, which is adding games like The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker and F-Zero GX to its Switch Online expansion subscription. But Nintendo clarified that the controller is only compatible with Nintendo GameCube, Nintendo Classic. So you can't use it for other games, which I don't know why you'd want to use the GameCube controller on other games anyway.
Oh, that was an awkward controller to start with.
Yeah, it's had that weird, the two little weird Joy-Cons, and then it's the D-pad.
It's offset. That's not. Yeah, that was a weird controller from the start.
Right. Nintendo had those.
I think the only I don't even. No, it was what was the old Sega Dreamcast? It had a controller that kind of reminded me of that.
It was just bigger. Yeah, the Dreamcast had that really big, weird.
Because for some reason, for a split second, I was like, no, I always remembered playing Crazy Taxi, but that was Dreamcast.
Yeah, what was the other one? Nintendo had this weird time with their controllers. It was the GameCube, and then what's the other one? GameCube, and then there was what was the one that came out before the GameCube that had that weird ass controller too with the rumble pack? Or maybe I'm thinking of the same one. It was at the GameCube that had the rumble pack you had to put in it to vibrate it, because we would always play the WCW games, or was that the? Damn it! What the hell was that? Did we play like the NWO Revenge on that? It wasn't the GameCube, because GameCube had the discs. This had the cartridges. The N64. That's what I'm thinking of.
Okay, yeah.
The N64 had the weird controller as well. That wasn't like that. Nintendo had like 2 years in a row, their systems in a row that had the weird ass controller, and then they went to like the more standard that we see now. I think this might be the last one. Yeah. And then finally, for the Zelda fans out there, which I just lost this year. Damn it. Where did it go? Crap. I just lost it here. But they're saying that the Wind Waker HD may not get ported over to the Switch 2. So apparently they're working on a possible HD version of this, but they may not. Oh, here we go. Let me make sure I get the right one here. I clicked too quickly and it went off the slide. Come on. It's going super slow here. Here it is. Yeah, Zelda the Wind Waker HD could maybe, hopefully. Oh, I'm sorry. So they're saying that the HD version of the Wind Waker HD remake that's on the Wii U might get ported over to the Switch too. That's something. If you're a fan, I was never a fan of the Wind Waker game itself. That was like one of my least favorite Zelda games that I played. I don't think I even played it much, if at all. I think I played it for a little bit and I just didn't like it. The controls and what it's up there with the what's the one with the Skyward Sword, I think it is. That's the one I was on the Wii that you had to use the nunchuck with, and you had to do like the motions for it. Oops. Yeah. I didn't like that one either. Finally, the last bit of news on the Switch 2 that I want to talk about is, remember we talked about the Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom upgrades that they were going to have, which was supposed to be like better graphics and better. It's going to run better on the Switch 2. But you had to, if you own the original games, you didn't have to go out and buy the new ones full price. You said you had to purchase an upgrade, which they confirmed it'll be $10. Which I think we speculated it'll be, but that was probably what we thought.
I think we all said 20.
Yeah, I think we said $10 to $20, but it'll be $10. They've confirmed the upgrade packs will be $10 each. So if you have both and you want to upgrade both, it's $20. Which to me,
That's not bad.
No, I can stomach that in my opinion. If you own and want to play them on the new Switch 2, okay.
No, I mean I never expect Nintendo to do anything for free.
They're like Apple. Why should they? People will pay
God, they won't even teach you how to use the Switch for free. You have to buy a tutorial game.
I know that tutorial, whatever it's called there. All right. All right. So that's all I had on the Switch 2. And while we're on that subject, I think we've talked about this last couple of weeks. Coming up on July 19th, we have the Cleveland's Classic Console and Arcade Gaming Show at the Soccer Sportsplex in North Olmsted, Ohio. It is on July 19th. I think they open at like 9 o'clock and it runs for like 8, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, something like that. And it runs until 8, 9 o'clock at night. We've been there. We've talked about this. A lot of cool vendors have stuff there you can buy. A lot of classic stuff. We said they have giveaways and stuff like that. It is $10 to get in. Kids 10 and under get in for free. Jim said we'll get the guy who's in charge of it on as a guest one of these days, probably the next couple of months, and talk more about it there. So again, the Cleveland Console and Arcade Gaming Show, the Cleveland's Classic Console and Arcade Gaming Show, CCCAG is what they call it, the CCAG or whatever. It's always a mouthful. Will be July 19th at the North Olmsted Soccer Sportsplex on Lorraine Road. It's a really cool thing to go to. Not to be confused with the one at the IX Center. That's in September, which I have yet to go to that one, but I've heard it's about the same type of thing. It's got more space. All right. So, while we're on the subject of video games, I know, Dustin, you play Fortnite still. Am I correct? Still say that? Well, they just added.
I ran a few games today.
What's that?
I ran a few games.
So they added Sabrina Carpenter, and if you don't know who Sabrina Carpenter is, look it up. She's a singer, not my kind of music. So Epic just had a partnership, and they do this a lot with people. They'll have like famous musicians and athletes and other celebrities to have events, so they put their skins in the game so that's more people to buy the skin and they can fight as them. Well, people are buying the Sabrina Carpenter skins in the games, and instead of during the game battle royals, instead of killing each other, this is what they're doing. So here's a video, about a 30-second clip of what people are doing with the Sabrina Carpenter skins in Fortnite.
I'm working late 'cause I'm a working day, 'cause I'm a sinner. Oh, you look so cute. I'm working day.
That's good.
So instead of killing each other, they're coming together and they're forming a band and playing. But I thought it was pretty funny how that
That's
one,
funny.
how that one just showed up. And
Reminds me of the what was it? Destiny dance
yes,
dance parties.
the Destiny dance parties we would get into. We'd be on the map and we'd all come together and we'd all just start dancing. And then other people would see us and they'd come over and they'd start joining in. Pretty soon there was like everybody on the screen was dancing with us. It was, that was. But I found that kind of funny, especially at the end with how they just that anime person showed up and they all just let her do her thing and they all just killed her at the end, which I thought was pretty funny. But yep, so that's what's going on in Fortnite, and I can see why my son hates it now. And I still say it's because he sucks at it, but he doesn't suck at it.
Nice.
He's actually pretty good at Fortnite, so I can't say that he sucks at it there. But so yeah. All right. So we did mention earlier how Rev has been missing. Well, guess what? We have a treat for everybody. We've had a lot of people requesting Rev. We finally got him to do another Rev report. So, without further ado,
About time.
here's the Rev report for
Welcome
April
back.
11th.
Rev report. There was a man that went into Westlake and he tried to put sugar in this person's tank and then misspelled the a-hole on this person's house and blacked out all the windows. They went to the guy's house. He's 64 years old. And he's like, oh, yeah, I did. I blacked out our windows and everything. And then in the back of the police car, in Westlake, he said that he wanted to shoot her up or something like that. And he's getting many different charges, as well as they shot down a UFO in Alaska, I guess. I put that in the report, and this is the report for 911 TV show's great. They had an virus, and Chen is now sick. So it's just a crazy show. Watch 911. Or Lone Star is my favorite. Lone Star is a favorite good movie show.
And there we go. Rev just talking about he was talking about the 911s. Lone Star is ended. That show is
that's what I was
that
wondering.
series is over. But 911 apparently I am like 8 episodes.
I'm so far behind on that one.
I haven't really done much there. My neighbor just texted me and told me that my garage door was still open, which every now and then I'll close it and then it'll just go back up. So why don't we take
I know that story he was talking about, the Westlake story. I saw that in the news. That's crazy.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that too. So Rev is back for another
Welcome back, Rev.
report there too. So real quick, why don't we take a real short break? I gotta go get my garage door closed. I mean, it does it sometimes. Let me find the We'll Be Right Back video and we'll play a song. You guys have a request of any of the songs you want to hear? Can we go on break or should I just pick one?
Just pick one. Yeah.
All right, we'll pick the one of our favorite Food and Fat songs here. So we'll be right back. In about a couple minutes. So be right back, guys.
Poopers and cake, best friends in the game. Food and fat, where they find their fame. Streaming all day, playing video games. Then off they go to where food claims. Food and fat, their favorite place. Burgers and fries, a smile on their face. Milkshakes and donuts, a sweet embrace. Lupus and cake in a tasty race. Laughter and chatter in the air. Chicken wings and pizza, they just don't care. Food and fat, always a win. With every bite, a joyful grin. Food and fat, their favorite place. Tacos and nachos, a delicious space. Ice cream and cookies, a sugary grace. Lupus and cake, setting the pace. Calories don't count in this wonderland. Food and fat, where bellies expand. Lupus and cake, hand in hand, eating their fill in this food land. Food and fat, their favorite sight. Pancakes and waffles, morning and night. Cheesecake and pie, a pure delight. Lupus and cake in food spotlight.
Oh my goodness, oh my damn, oh my goodness, they're going ham. Oh my goodness, oh my damn, oh my goodness, they're going ham. This is how bacon is supposed to be. The fries, they blend so perfectly. The cheese up in here is going ham. Damn, damn, damn. I wish you could smell what I'm smelling. You bite the fry bites back, my man. Damn, damn, damn. Crispy crunch. Look at the bacon. Get yourself that double cheeseburger. Damn, damn, damn. Get a grocery bag. The cheese is oozing. Let's do this. Damn, damn, damn. Do you want to know the difference between a wheat burger and a burger that has strength? And a burger that has strength. A wheat burger, you can chew and stop talking. A burger with strength, you chew. The meat just absorbs all the space and all the air possible all in your throat. To the point that if you wanted to start talking, nothing but is coming out. Word, skimmer-a-rinky dinky dink, skimmer-a-rinky dink. I love you. Oh my damn. This is how bacon is supposed to be. The fries, they blend so perfectly. The cheese up in here is going ham. Damn, damn, damn. I wish you could smell what I'm smelling. You bite the fry bites back, my man. Damn, damn, damn. Crispy crunch. Look at the bacon. Get yourself that double cheeseburger. Damn, damn, damn. Get a grocery bag. The cheese is oozing. Let's do this. Damn, damn, damn.
All right, and we are back. There we go. Let me unmute you guys. There we go.
Hey, get a grocery bag.
Damn. It really makes me want to have five. Everybody wants. Every time I hear that, it makes me want to have five guys.
I was looking to see if they were open, but they're not.
Well, tomorrow's the last day I can have meat for a week, so we might have to do that since it's gonna be kind of weird because we're leaving next Friday and on that flight over, it's gonna be kind of hard because we're gonna be at the airport. We leave Friday morning. I think we are gonna be. We have to get to the airport like at 8:30. I think our flight leaves at like at 10:30 to go from here to Washington D.C. And then we land in DC at like 12 something. It's like an hour and like hour and a half flight, I think, if that. And then we're in DC. We're stuck in Dulles until 5 o'clock that night. So we have like a 5-hour layover. So we either are going to have to just camp out at the terminal, or our travel agent mentioned these, like, they have airport lounges, and that some of our credit cards might have access to them.
Oh yeah.
I looked it up, and I have the Capital One Venture, the Venture One card. I don't have the one that gets you in for free. I can get us in. It's like $45 a person, though. So I'm like, would it be? Is it worth it though? Is the question.
It depends. If you've got that much time to kill,
Yeah.
it could potentially be. I know my boss has he has that American Express one with their lounges, and just to piss me off every time we go to a damn airport, he sends me pictures. At least the American Express one is worth it.
Well, I looked it up, and I know our travel agent mentioned the Turkish Airlines, and I'm like, we're not flying that. We're flying United. I think you might be able just to pay to get in to.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you're flying. Any of those places that offer day passes, it doesn't matter what you're
Okay.
doing.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I don't want to do is, 'cause I know Dulles is not a small airport, and having both my almost 90-year-old parents with us, I don't want them to have to do a lot of walking if we can avoid it. I mean, although I know we're going to be sitting on a plane for 9.5 hours,
Yeah.
so maybe.
No, but a lot of those places, though, you can pull up, like once you know
Gate
your
number.
arrival gates.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to remember which airport it was that I was at, but Capital One had like 3 lounges.
Oh,
They had them in different terminals.
I looked up the Dulles. They have one. I don't know if which the Delta United terminal. Our travel agent said the United terminal at Dulles is kind of older. It's not like the nicer of the 2 or 3 that they have there. So I don't know. I'm like, well, do we want to? I mean, I don't know how they're connected. Are they tunnels? Are they? Because I looked at the map, and it's like multiple. It's multiple. I'm sure they're connected.
I think it's tunnels because I think you take like a tram over.
Okay, kind of like a subway or something.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, pull up the terminal maps, and
Yeah.
it might not be the Capital One lounge that's there, but there might be another one that you can buy a day pass to.
Okay, I know Capital One because with my credit card, I can just go there and show them my card and say I want to get all 6 of us in, and they'll charge me $300 or 200, whatever the price for.
I've got the same card.
Okay. Yeah, so I figured it'd be worth it because it's got a private bathroom. They have food. I don't know if the food is complimentary or not, or if you have to pay for it. Or
most of the lounges are complimentary.
It is.
Wow, that's surprising.
Most of the time.
Yeah, I mean they have drinks. I'm assuming alcohol you got to pay for, but drinks and stuff they've got.
It depends. Some of them, I think my boss always says, like, he goes into that Amex lounge, and I don't think he pays for anything.
Oh well, I guess that would make sense. I mean, you're paying $45. What are you paying the money for? To just go
That's
in?
true. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure, and it's got charging stations, and it's more comfortable seating and stuff, and private. So maybe we'll look into it when we get there. I mean, I mentioned it to my dad because I thought he had a Capital One. He's got one credit card. It's a business card, and I thought it was a Capital One. It's not. It's a Chase. So I looked it up, and Chase doesn't offer that kind of stuff, but I know Capital One does. I wasn't going to take that card with me, but I think I'm going to now, just for that reason alone, just so we have a place to stay. And I don't know if Athens Airport, because the way our flight works, our flight is if we get in, supposedly, if everything's on time, we land in Athens at like 9:30 in the morning. And then there's a flight that leaves from Athens to Samos at 12:30, but she put us on the 5 o'clock flight just because if things are delayed, she doesn't want us to miss that flight. But she said if we land, we get our luggage, we can go over to the Aegean terminal or the desk and see if they can get us on the 12:30 flight to get there. So we'll be there a lot earlier, which I would prefer. I don't want to sit in the Athens airport for another 5 freaking hours to wait for us just to get over there. But that's going to be a long day of traveling. I'm not looking forward to that too. And I know we all wanted to go to church that night because we do the midnight church thing. And she was telling us yesterday that they have after church is over at midnight, they make this soup that is made out of like lamb innards, like lamb guts, pretty much.
Oh,
You've got to like they say
I,
you eat that.
I'd try it.
Oh, I've heard it's really good. I think I might have had it at some point, but she said you got to eat that, and you just kind of go and it's like, and I said, well, what about restaurants? She's like, all you're going to smell is people cooking lamb at the whole island. It's going to smell like that everywhere. They cook it outside. I'm like, okay, I'm looking forward to this. She's like, you won't have any problems finding places to eat. So, on Easter, so we'll
Dang,
be.
man, I'm looking at the food menu for that Capital One Lounge at Dulles, man. That looks pretty good.
I know. I was looking at that too. I'm like, damn, they got like teriyaki, like some kind of shrimp and pasta or something. Or
Damn.
it wasn't like little sandwiches. Like they have that stuff too. But that's the thing is we're supposedly we should be eating meat that day, on that Friday or Saturday. But I think it's just going to be like one of those things. Like if we can do it, great. If we can't do it, I'm sorry. Type of thing. We're going to go to church on Sunday. My mom goes, "Oh, go to church Sunday and take communion." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And we'll fast during the week. Well, we're going to go because it's Palm Sunday. We'll go.
You'll be okay. People understand if you eat because you're hungry. You're different circumstance, flying all that way.
Well, we can. They have vegetarian stuff, I'm sure, but I mean, well, I did look at the menu. For our flight, they feed us like breakfast and dinner on the flight to Greece. And we have a choice between stuff like they have like like pasta, there's like a chicken thing, and there's something else. And then breakfast is like breakfast sandwiches, like eggs and sausage and stuff. I'm like, okay, like yeah. So we'll see. We'll play it by ear. I was trying to figure out what to take, like to watch on the plane. I downloaded some stuff to put on my laptop. I watched. I think I was talking to you guys before. I watched season 1 of The White Lotus. Now my sister has been pestering me to watch this for years since it came out in like 2019.
Hey, and here, all the food and drinks are complimentary.
Shit.
Oh, at the Capital One. So it's
Capital One.
so you're basically that $45 that you have to pay per person.
Yeah, it's paying for itself.
Right. Yeah, it's worth it. If you're there for 5 hours, it's worth it.
My biggest thing is, I guess we'll have to figure out how to get from the United terminal. I guess when we land, we'll figure it out. Just have to ask somebody, hey, where's the Capital One lounge?
There'll be a shuttle you can take, or a little cart safe for your mom and dad.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I keep telling my mom and dad, like, we got to get you wheelchairs, and they're like, no. I'm like, look. Yeah, it's nothing to do with don't get your, try to be all, prideful and stuff. It's not about the pride. It's about getting you around quicker. We get the board quicker and we get off the plane a little faster. Come on. I know you guys can walk. And I know when we land in Athens, they're probably going to want to walk because we're going to be sitting.
Oh yeah.
I get that. But going to Dulles, even in Cleveland here, we should have them get in a wheelchair. I told that for both of them, and they're like, no. I'm like, come on, just stop. Yeah. I'm sure we could do it. Well, I keep telling my sister, and she keeps on agreeing with me. And then, like my dad was arguing with us last night about wearing compression socks on the plane.
It's the smartest thing to do. I would have done it. If I'm doing that, I'm wearing them.
We all are. And my dad's like, I don't need to wear them. I don't get cramps. Like, that's not the point of what compression socks are for. They keep your circulation going. You're going to be sitting for 9 hours. Yep. So my mom asked me if I had another pair. I said, yeah. So I gave them a pair. I go, you better wear these on the plane. I go, you don't have to wear them while we're there. Just wear them when we're on the damn plane.
You'll feel so much better.
Right. And you don't have to wear them flying between islands, like the hour flight, the 45-minute flight that we have between the islands. You don't need to wear them then, but just wear them on the international flight. Because coming home, it's like an 11-hour flight because of it's the Jetstream.
Jetstream, okay.
It's the Jetstream is going the other way. We're going against the
going.
Okay. That's why it's a 9+ hour flight going, and coming home it's like 11. But we get in at like 6:50 or 6:20 something p.m. here on that Friday night. We leave there that morning at like, what time it is. There's a 7-hour time difference, but I forget what time we leave there. But either way, but I was saying, like, my sister was bugging me about watching that White Lotus, so I finally watched season 1, and it was freaking amazing. I just was like, I didn't want to stop watching. And I mean, I think that might have been one of the first roles for Sydney Sweeney.
Oh, she in it?
Yeah, she plays the daughter of Steve Zahn and Connie Britton.
Steve Zahn's in there.
He's and who else is in there? Alexandria Daddario. She's
I knew
in
that.
it.
Yeah.
She plays one of the newlyweds. There's her and her husband. I can't think of the guy who played her husband. It's like Jake Kyle or something. I can't think of his name. I've seen him in other stuff. And then the other what's the other one actor? It's that Jennifer Coolidge is in it.
Okay.
She plays in the first 2 seasons the same character.
I know Walter Coggins is in it.
Walter Goggins is in the 3rd season.
Yeah, okay. I knew he was in one of them.
They all take place at different resorts, different White Lotus resorts. And there's a new cast in every season. I think there's only the one carryover. That's Jennifer Coolidge plays in both season 1 and 2. She plays the same character in both, which is pretty much the same character she plays in those Discover commercials.
Oh, so annoying.
I know, but the show, if you haven't watched it, I so badly want to start season 2, but I'm going to save the 2 seasons for the flight. And then I got Yellow Jackets is the other one I want to start watching. I have
so good.
I've heard that. I'm going to watch that. I got all 3. Is it 3 seasons or 4 seasons?
It's 3 seasons of this. Finished last night. I got to watch it tomorrow. But
yeah,
it's so good and so disturbing.
Yeah, I got to put that on there, and I've got a couple of movies and stuff on there. So I'm just trying to find. So, if there's any suggestions of shows to watch or movies, let me know. Just to have them there. I figured
Yellow Jackets is the one.
I have it on there. I'm trying to put stuff on that I haven't seen. I mean, it's a 9-hour flight, and hopefully I'll get some sleep on the flight. So I don't know, but yeah. So that's I was kind of bummed that I finished watching The Pit, so I could have saved that for the flight.
Watch it over again.
No, I'm not going to watch it over again. The Pit was awesome.
That was so good.
The way they wrapped it up, the season was perfect. I thought it was really well done.
Next time they have is going to be months later, July 4th weekend. So it's going to be interesting.
Oh, is it? They've already said that?
Yeah, holiday weekend. They didn't say which holiday. I think it was July 4th. But it's going to be interesting.
That one.
It's awesome, and now it's done. So
good.
season 1's over, so you can binge through it and not have to worry about.
Yeah, I'll have to do it because Beth started watching that while she was in New Orleans.
It's really good.
Awesome.
The Pit is awesome. It just wrapped. We just watched the finale today.
It's so good.
So well
Still
done.
have a bunch of episodes of that to watch.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. I'm not going to say anything about it then, but it's wrapped up like perfectly. Every episode leaves you on a cliffhanger, except for the finale.
I'm just reading about season 2. So
what does it say?
Doug Driscoll's exiting. That's the guy that punched. I wouldn't want to say too much because what's his name, Dustin. But everybody's coming back.
That's my name.
The patient.
The patient, yeah, he's done.
I would have figured he wouldn't be back.
I just said that was a big one person not coming back. I knew that.
Oh,
we all knew that.
We all knew that. He was just a patient. He wasn't a main. I mean,
they said everybody's coming back.
Oh, they all are coming back.
Yeah, which surprised me.
I thought for sure the one nurse was not the head nurse.
So did I. That's that and the one doctor. But I guess they're coming back.
We'll see. I think they're going to overlook that for what happened.
They better because I loved him. He's great.
Oh, he's good, but yeah, such a great show.
Picks up 10 minutes after the final hour of season 1 and takes place over the 4th of July.
How many months later?
10 months. 10 months later.
Okay, so a lot's going to happen between that time there.
Yep.
And when's supposed to come out? Like next year or like later this year?
I'm looking.
Does it say?
Doesn't say. I don't
Doesn't
think.
Say.
Hold on.
I would think if they're filming it now, then they probably have it out by. Well, you know what? I bet you they'll release it. When did it start here? Was it
couple months ago? Yeah.
I bet you that's when they're going to release it. So 2026, I bet you is when it's going to be released.
I'm reading right now. So. Doesn't say so far. Yeah, it's not saying, but so.
Okay, I'm not gonna worry about it. We'll talk about it when it comes out then. All right. So the other big topic I wanted to talk about tonight. We don't have to spend a ton of time on this, I'm sure a bunch of us are getting kind of tired, is the upcoming NFL draft. It is taking place April 24th to the 26th. I will be in Greece, so that'll be kind of fun. They'll be getting these updates at like 1 in the morning or something, or for me when I'm over there.
Yeah.
So right now, here's the current draft order. I think they said this was like the first year, and every team has their own first round pick right now.
Wow, that's shocking.
All 32 teams.
It's coming out. Sorry, coming out in January 2026. So yeah,
that's what I figured. That's when this one.
You did say that, yeah.
2025, January 2025 is when.
Makes sense. 1 year. Okay, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's good. I kind of figured that.
You did.
But yeah, this NFL draft was the first year. I forget how many years that every team has their own first round pick. As you can see, the top.
The Browns haven't traded theirs yet.
The who? The Browns?
They've only given up like their last 6 years.
We haven't had a pick in 3 or 4 years. First round pick.
3 years.
3 years.
Traded away for that. The guy who blew out his Achilles.
The massage guy.
Yeah. So you can see that there's the top 5 picks. If you're not, I don't know if you haven't been paying attention, either you're not a football fan or you're just under a rock. Tennessee, Cleveland, the Giants, the Patriots, and the Jags have the top 5 picks in the draft. Everybody's kind of saying, I did pull up a 4-round mock draft from NFL.com. I don't like some of these other ones, like some of these other mock drafts. One of those mock drafts I saw had the Browns picking that Louisville quarterback at trading back to like number 6 and picking the quarterback at 6. I'm like, what? No. Yeah. So everybody seems to be top consensus that Cam Ward, the quarterback out of the University of Miami, is going to go number 1 to Tennessee. Now the number 2 pick, this was where everybody was kind of wondering what's going to happen with the Browns. Are they going to take Shedeur Sanders? Are they going to go elsewhere? But I think today's free agent signing of Joe Flacco pretty much answers that question. The Browns are not going to take a quarterback at number 2. So there are 3 options, in my opinion. Will be the defensive end will be Abdul Carter out of Penn State. The receiver cornerback, Travis Hunter out of Colorado, or will they trade it back?
Carter sent out a tweet right after the Browns announced the Flacco signing with Lawrence Taylor and said, well, it was once a giant, always a giant. Like, he could pretty much came out and was saying he wants to go to New York.
Doesn't matter. I think he'll go wherever they go. Now, I honestly think the Browns are going to take Travis Hunter here. I think
they're going to take Hunter.
He take Sanders.
They need another receiver.
Yeah.
I think Jerry Jeudy had a great year, but he can't. Without having some help, he's going to be locked down.
No, see, I think
the only help that the Browns really have for him is what, Njoku?
Pretty much there.
That's not a true wide receiver deep threat that's going to pull coverage off of Jeudy.
Now, I still think Hunter is going to be a corner in the league. I don't think he's going to be a receiver. I think he'll be what the Deion Sanders, Charles Woodson, who played mostly corner, but would have some packages where he would see the offensive side of the ball. I just think you don't what is a better premium position is DB. I think they're going to if they take Hunter, he'll be a cornerback mostly with some offensive package. And I think they'll draft another receiver later in the draft because you can get decent receivers later in the draft.
I saw one of the mock drafts I was looking at from Pro Football Network has them taking Luther Burden, the receiver from Missouri, in the 2nd round.
I'm curious on what the NFL has. See, NFL.com has them taking Abdul Carter at 2. And in the 2nd round, it has them. Oh, wait, click that. It has them taking offensive lineman from Oregon, Josh Connerly Jr. at the number 33 pick. And we have 2 third rounders, don't we? Or do we not have a third rounder anymore? Get off here. Oh, here we go. 67, it has him taking a running back out of Iowa, Caleb Johnson. I like that pick. And then they has him taking Tez Johnson at 94, the receiver from Oregon, which would be a great pickup. And then the 4th round, which I don't think we do. 4th round has him taking Kyle McCord. Seriously.
What, the guy from Ohio State?
He's at Syracuse.
Oh, yeah.
He was Ohio State, though,
2
right?
years ago, Ohio State.
Yeah, I thought so.
He transferred to Syracuse.
Yeah, I don't think. I think they will be taking the Shuck or is it Shuck, the guy from Louisville, or Jalen or Milrow will be the guy they'll take a quarterback. They're going to take one. I don't think they're going to wait till the 4th round to take one. I still think they're going to.
No, I think they're going to take one. I think it'll be the 3rd round.
I don't think he'll be there. I think Milrow's the guy they want because the new OC was at Tommy Rees was at Alabama and had him and knows him really well. And I just think Milrow's the guy that Stefanski wants to be the.
I'm trying to remember which mock draft it was I saw. One of them had him taking Will Howard in like the 4th round.
I'd be okay with that if they don't get Milrow, but I think from what I've been hearing, I think Milrow's going to be. They're either going to trade up with one of the, like in the 20s. Like I know Pittsburgh was linked to him as well, so maybe they have to trade back up to, I don't know, 18, 19, 20 to get him, or Pittsburgh decides to do something else because they're going to sign Aaron Rodgers, and then maybe they trade up with one of the other, like the like the Washingtons, the Buffaloes, the Kansas Cities. They trade up there to get back into the 1st round where they could give up their 2nd and like a 5th rounder or 6th rounder. I don't think they have a 5th rounder anymore. I think they would give up like another day 3 pick, and that would be enough to move back into the 2nd round, into the 1st round to get the quarterback, and you get that 5th year option with him. And I think that's the Milrow's the guy that I think they're going to target. I've seen there's so many mock drafts out there. Let
me see. This was as of a few days ago. The Browns have number 2, number 33. Then they have in the 3rd round they have 67 and 94 from the Bills.
Right. That was the
104 pick. In the 4th. No 5th rounders anymore.
Right.
And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 6th round picks and a 7th.
But you said we have a 2nd round pick from Buffalo or 3rd?
No, 3rd round, number 94.
Oh, okay. So I'm looking here to see what the NFL. Caleb Johnson and I did say Tez Johnson. That's right. They took Tez Johnson with the 2nd, 3rd round pick, which would both be good pickups. I'm trying to see what other. There was a mock draft that I saw that had them taking Milrow, that they were trading back up. See this one. This one's a Yahoo Sports. They just put one out as of today. Has the Browns taking Travis Hunter?
I saw that
at number 2. And then does it only have 1st round picks? Yeah, it does. I'm trying to see if Milrow was picked by who does he have Pittsburgh taking?
Grok has us picking Travis Hunter.
Who?
Grok, the AI.
Oh, Grok. I thought you said I was like Gronk.
I said Gronk at first, but I meant Grok.
Okay. Oh, see, this Yahoo one has Shedeur Sanders slipping all the way to Pittsburgh at 21.
This one is such a weird draft. I don't know if there's anything that would really surprise me with what these top like 3 or 4 teams end up doing. I mean, I really think Tennessee's going to take Cam Ward, but at the end of the day, it wouldn't surprise me if they take Carter.
I think they're nailed in on Cam Ward, but I agree. I mean,
I think they are too, but it wouldn't surprise me if they take Carter.
But if they take Carter,
knowing the Browns, I think they're taking Hunter.
Mm-hmm. But what do you do?
I also think though that the the thought of getting Carter on a rookie contract for the next few years to be opposite of Garrett
Garrett would cause so
could be
many
one of the most
terrors,
dominating
nightmares.
defensive end combinations
Yes,
ever seen.
Right.
that's why I like that.
But it also, knowing the Browns, because I'm a lifelong Browns fan, it also wouldn't surprise me if they took Will Howard at number 2. I don't want to take Sanders. I keep seeing things that everybody's saying that Sanders is like one of the most pro-ready quarterbacks to come out in recent memory.
He doesn't have
a
strong arm. He's not.
No, and that's one thing though that with Cleveland being right there on the lake.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get into these colder months, that wind coming off the lake. I mean, I've sat through many of games where that wind is just beating the living shit out of the ball.
Yeah. So I seriously, I know, but Sanders, to me, I think he's going to end up with the Giants. I really think he's going to end up going third. Now, you mentioned that, what if Tennessee just shocks everybody and goes Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter number 1? So if you're there, would you take Cam Ward at number 2, or would you rather trade back? I think if the Titans take one of those other guys and Ward is sitting there, you could probably get a boatload from somebody like the Raiders or
Flacco today pretty much made it kind of clear that they're more interested in next year's QB class.
I agree, but if you can get Cam Ward at 2, would you take him and still have Flacco and Pickett?
Let him sit for a year?
No.
You wouldn't? I would trade back.
If he didn't have as much interest as he has, I think that there are enough teams behind you that are in a very desperate need for a quarterback that you could get such a return for Cam Ward at 2 that the Browns just have too many holes.
They're not going to fill all the holes in one draft. They don't have any cap room, so they couldn't.
All of them, but you can get like this is it's not a top heavy quarterback class.
No,
but it's a pretty stacked draft in other positions that the Browns have needs in.
O-line running back is like one of the deepest in years.
They've already got a lot of draft capital, but they could get some major capital. And you trade back. I mean, whatever, trade back with Oakland, with whoever, somebody else or not Oakland, Las Vegas. But I mean, there's enough teams, I think, that you could get enough that you could trade back, take somebody else in that 6, 7, somewhere in that range. You could still get a great player there, get enough draft capital if you want to trade back into the first round, pick up some more middle round picks.
Right.
And there's enough talent in those middle rounds that they really could make a big dent in their holes.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I honestly, I don't see that happening. I don't think Tennessee's passing up on Ward. I think they're pretty much locked in there. But and then I think Browns are going to be locked. It's going to be Hunter or Carter. I won't be upset either way. I think Hunter would make the most sense because he brings that. I've heard generational type of play, but he would be something that we haven't had here, like the athlete that can play elite or high level on both sides of the ball. And he'll bring a lot of excitement to the team. I think the fans will be a little happier. It'll bring the jersey sales will go through the roof. I think people will be buying Hunter jerseys over Abdul Carter jerseys, in my opinion. I think they've already got the Myles Garrett, but I would love to see Garrett and Carter on the line together. I just don't want, Carter to turn into another Gerard Warren or Courtney Brown. I don't think he is. He's more athletic than both of those guys, but and both those guys had solid careers. I mean, Courtney Brown just had injury problems, and The good news is about Carter's foot is they said it's healing and it's a
Good.
stress fracture, so that shouldn't be a problem. But
Yeah,
I
they
still
said that about Sean's ACL too.
Yeah, I don't care about it. He could tear it again for all I care. I wish he would just retire, but he's not going to give up all that money. Yeah, and I think they're going to kick the can down the road on the quarterback unless they can grab I still think Milroe is the guy Jalen Milroe is the guy they want.
Yeah,
It
I saw them. I think it was the Cleveland.com mock draft had them taking him with their second round pick.
Yeah, I was listening to a couple the local talk shows not the ones on the radio. They have a couple podcasts that they do on the side. I was listening to the bullpen with Adam the Bull and Dustin Fox are on that together now, and I was listening to them yesterday, and they were talking about it. And today, when they signed Flacco, they both said that Travis Hunter is probably the foregone conclusion number 2 at this point, and they still are saying that they reiterated on the point that they think that Milroe's the guy that they want, and that they're going to get him at some point, whether they have to trade back into the first round to get him, which would just cost them their second rounder and a later pick, maybe even in next year's draft. It doesn't have to be this year's to get.
Well, I mean, they've got 4 6th-round picks.
Yeah, yeah.
They have an abundance of those late round picks.
Yeah, you give them number 33 and that one of those 6th rounders to get back into the second round, or back into the late first round. I'm sure you can get it from the Lions, the Commanders, the Bills, one of those teams. Even the Chargers might be able to, or the Rams might be able to, would be willing to do that.
I don't know that one. Rams, you're going all the way up to 26. That's.
Yeah, but they're dropping if they don't have a player that they like. I mean, going back down to 33, they're dropping 7 spots.
I'm not saying that they wouldn't trade it. I don't think you're going to get it for that second rounder and a late
6th.
No, you might.
You give them
maybe early 6th.
Yeah, you give them your 6, which is I think one of the first 2 picks, which is a late 5th at this point. I mean, it depends on how bad you want Milroe, and if the Steelers end up somehow getting Sanders, or I don't think the Steelers are taking a quarterback. I think they're going to be happy with Aaron Rodgers. I don't know why.
Why?
Hey, I'm fine with that.
Well, no, but in all honesty, I mean, if he makes it past Pittsburgh, who else there's taking a quarterback?
Well, you can look at the whole list. We'll look at the draft. I mean, Tennessee takes Ward. Okay. Well, get back down this middle of the rounds. The Bengals don't need a quarterback. Seattle doesn't need a quarterback right now. They signed. No,
Denver doesn't.
No, Pittsburgh does. The Chargers don't. Green Bay doesn't. Minnesota doesn't. They're content with McCarthy. Houston doesn't. The Rams won't take a first round quarterback. The Ravens definitely don't.
They need a developmental quarterback.
Yeah, but not in the first round. They
not
won't
in
do
the
it.
first round.
No.
Baltimore isn't going to take one.
No, Lions won't. Yeah, Buffalo won't.
There's nobody on the back half of the first round that is going to quarterback.
Yeah, even I mean, you can look at even going back I think the last team in the draft here that would say we need a quarterback would be the Colts at this point. I mean, the Falcons spent all that money on that money on Cousins, and they shot themselves in the foot by hoping somebody would trade for him, and now they're stuck with a $30 million backup quarterback to what's his name,
Bill Penix.
The Cardinals, they're kind of stuck with Murray.
Yeah, they're not doing.
Dolphins have Tua.
Dolphins maybe if you're worried about Tua, but once again, you're still taking a first rounder.
Not at 13, you don't take that. There's nobody. I can't see them doing that there.
No, so yeah, you've got Giants. The Giants are going to need somebody.
The Raiders need somebody. The Jets and
the
Saints
kind of doubled down at this point.
Well, the Jets went with Fields, and I think they might have. I was kind of hoping
that's why they pretty much kind of doubled down on not taking one.
Right.
Carolina doesn't need one. Saints don't. Bears
they do.
Don't.
The Saints do. Saints definitely do because Carr is injury prone, and
he got hurt again.
He got hurt again.
Prone, but are you taking a top 10 first round quarterback?
They might. I mean, if they need somebody that bad, but I don't know who they would take unless it's Sanders. I think Shador is the wild card here. I mean, if
That's what I'm saying. He's the
Mhm.
wild card, and after him, I don't think that any of the quarterbacks really they don't warrant being a
No,
middle to high first round draft pick.
no, Milrow, Dart,
Miller's your next tier quarterback, and I mean
Dart and Milrow, and then there's
20,
the Louisville
28
kid.
32.
Yeah,
That's where I see him going, and I even believe that's a reach. But that's where I think if somebody is in need of a quarterback, that's where they're going to trade into.
yeah, and if you're the Browns, you're moving up five. If you're trading with the Browns, you're dropping back 5 spots, okay, and picking up a later pick. The Browns are getting their quarterback for the future, they hope. But the reason you take a quarterback in the first round is to get that 5th-year option, so you can keep him on that rookie contract. If he does pan out, you got him for 5 years under the controllable contract. If he doesn't pan out, then you just cut him after 4 and be like, okay, it didn't work out. We are back in the driver's seat of a quarterback. But like Shador in this case, he's not going to go to Ward will go first. The Browns will end up taking Hunter, we'll say. The Giants might take him. If he doesn't go at 3, the Patriots don't need a quarterback. Jacksonville doesn't need a quarterback. The Raiders might take Shador because he's got the relationship with Brady. Brady trained with him when he was
That's
playing.
right.
So he's got that relationship. So maybe there. If he doesn't go to the Raiders, the Jets aren't going to take him.
Every Raiders fan I know hope they're praying the Giants take him.
Well, even the Raiders might pass. Well, then the Jets won't take him. The Panthers won't take him. Saints maybe. If he gets by the Saints, then the Bears aren't taking him. The Niners aren't taking him. The Cowboys aren't taking him. He's sliding all the way down, like we've said. The Colts maybe, but if he doesn't, the Colts don't take him. They still got Richardson and didn't they just sign? I forget who they just signed. They just signed somebody else. Who did they just sign?
Yeah, they just signed.
Daniel Jones, right? No, Jones went back to Minnesota, didn't he?
No,
Did he
no,
go to the Colts? Okay, so they have Daniel Jones, and then
Danny Dimes.
So then he slides to Pittsburgh because the other teams ahead of him are not taking him. So then Pittsburgh will probably would take Sanders, and if he doesn't go at 21,
know what though? If I'm Pittsburgh, I mean that's a no-brainer at 21.
Exactly. I wouldn't fault them for taking him at all. I don't think Sanders is going to be a great quarterback anyway. He might be okay.
He's a decent quarterback.
I don't think he's going to be worth the hassle that comes with his dad.
I
don't think Deion's going to be as bad as you think he is. I really don't.
I don't know. I mean, he's already come out and been saying all this crap that it's like, dude, just shut up and let your kid go through the draft process.
Yeah, and the other thing I will say about Shador is he is a leader and he is a good clubhouse guy. But then again, so is Travis Hunter. They say he's a very high character guy as well as talented. So I don't see Sanders slipping past the Giants. I think he'll end up there. And then the Patriots will end up really happy because they'll get their choice between Hunter and Carter at 4. And that's what I'm. And Mike Vrabel is going to love having either one of those guys there because they're a super high talented guy, and I think it'll have Abdul Carter because I really think the Browns are taking Hunter. I just can't see Hunter slipping past the Browns at 2.
I don't know. This is one of those drafts where really once you get past 1, nothing will surprise me.
I agree totally with that there. All right, so I guess that's our quick chat. I didn't really want to get too deeper into the draft because I really don't care about people in the later rounds at this point. I mean, it's more like the first, second round. I could see. I mean, I think the Browns will end up with Travis Hunter at 2, Milrow or Dart or that Louisville quarterback sometime in the second round. They'll end up with another running back because I think they're going to bring Chubb back, but they're going to need to bring a young guy in to have like a room like of Chubb, the rookie.
There was one I saw. They were taking
the Iowa guy.
Well, I saw the Iowa guy, but then I saw another one taking Quinshon Judkins in the 3rd round.
He's not going to make it to 3.
I didn't think so, but yeah. I've seen that on 2 different mocks.
I mean, I would be happy with that. He's a type of running back that would be perfect in the AFC North, but I don't think he's going to make it the 3rd round. And I think, then the Browns will also end up with another top.
It's gonna depend on that later half of the first round because
Yep. Well,
it's a deep running back class.
The other Ohio State running back, Williams, he's going to go first. He'll go ahead of Judkins. Henderson, not Williams. Henderson.
Henderson's going to go ahead of Judkins.
Yeah.
But there's a pretty deep class at running back.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be like it was. What was that? Like 2 or 3 years ago, where all of a sudden there was a run on them.
Yeah, it's been like last couple of years. There's been runs on running backs. Though they've got the Boise State guy. The other guy, the Browns, Gentry. The other guys the Browns brought in, which intrigued me, is the dude from Arizona State, that's Scadaboo. And you know how Cleveland fans love white running backs. So, but that Scadaboo guy, I was watching him play.
I had Peyton Hillis on my fantasy team that year.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Peyton. That's what Scadaboo kind of reminded me. But the thing is, he can catch the ball out of the backfield. But the Browns had him in for a visit, so that's what kind of made me think about it. The Browns will end up with a running back.
Him to go. I haven't even seen anything. Is he like second round, third round?
It'll be like third round-ish, third, fourth round, like that. He's a day 2 type running back. He's a good. He was like pretty much all air. I watched the one Arizona State game. It was on late one night, and it was like an overtime game, and they just kept feeding him the ball, and he would get, like, they needed like 6 yards, he would get like 7, and then they would just feed him more, and he was just pounding the ball.
Chews up yardage.
Yeah, I forget what was his stat. Let's see if I can look at it. I can't remember his first name. Scadaboo. Oh, just look up Scadaboo running back. Cameron Scadaboo. Cam Scadaboo. Let's see. Do they have his stats? Here we go.
Yes, him as the number 6 running back.
This year at Arizona State, he 293 carries, 1,711 yards, 21 touchdowns, 45 receptions, 605 yards receiving, 3 TDs. At Sacramento,
since Christian McCaffrey to have 1,500 rushing and 500 receiving.
Yeah, that's who he's been compared to, and it's because he's white. He's 5'10", 219, so he's a load. At Sacramento State, he played his last year at Sacramento State. He had 1,372 yards rushing on 195 carries, 7 yards per carry, 7 TDs. And then he transferred to Arizona State. His first year at Arizona State, 783 yards on the rushing on 164 carries, 9 TDs. And then last year, 1,700 yards, yards, and on a team that was 11-3 in the Big 12. Did they win the conference? They did. They were tied with Iowa State, BYU, and Colorado. So I could see him going third round, maybe. I didn't see where they had him picked. I already closed the window, and I'm not going to go back. But but I still think the Browns
picked, but they have him. They have him as the number 6 running back, number 62 overall.
Oh, wow. So he could go in the second round.
Well, but they've got a big drop. So, like, they've got Genty, the number 1 running back, number 5 overall.
Yeah. He'll go in the first round.
And then they've got that UNC Hampton, the running back from North Carolina, is the number 2 running back at 13 overall. Then you've got a pretty big drop. And they've got Henderson at number 31 overall and Judkins then at 51 overall.
Okay. I'd be happy with them taking, a Judkins, Scadaboo, or the Johnson from Iowa. Would be a solid running back that could be the heir apparent to take over for Chubb. I mean, you've got Ford still.
That's looking at these running backs, you have Judkins at 51 overall, Caleb Johnson at 61 overall, Scadaboo at 62 overall. You've got some good running backs in that.
They're all productive. And there's even other guys. There's also a few others that were at either Division 1, the FCS, or the Division 1, like the smaller schools, like the smaller conferences that are actually going to be solid contributors. Like you find those guys who come out of like the Sun Belt or the MAC that are just like solid contributors. Like when we had, what was the MAC running back that we had? Was it not Travis Prentice? There was another guy came out of the MAC. He was a running back. Oh God, why am I drawing a blank? It's Kareem Hunt. I
Kareem
mean,
Hunt, I was gonna say Kareem Hunt.
I'm drawing a blank on that. He went to Toledo too, and he was here for those years. And he's a solid. I mean, look, his rookie year, the guy was a beast. You'll find these running backs. Running backs are easy to find, and then the Browns. I think this draft is deep at receiver, running back, and I think the D line and O lines are pretty deep as well. Like the D line itself, I know there's a couple like defensive tackles that are really highly rated that would have gone in the top 5, but there's so much other talent here. The dude from Michigan, the tackle from Michigan, the D tackle from Michigan, he's a top 5 talent, but he may make it. He may last until like Chicago or something at 10.
Oh yeah, they've got him as the number 3 overall.
Mason Graham. I couldn't. I want to say Howard, but I knew it was Mason something. Third. Oh, he's third prospect, so he may not make it past. Maybe the Patriots take him, but I can't see if. I think if Carter's there, they take him. Just based on the Browns signing Flacco, I think the Flacco thing is going to pretty much keep Sanders out of their mouth, which I'm hoping. I hope so.
I also wouldn't really be all that mad if they wait until later in that 3rd round to draft a quarterback. And I mean that quarterback class next year coming out is going to be pretty stacked. If
Manning comes out, he doesn't have to come out next year. He could play, say, another year. But they still have like Drew Aller. I still am intrigued by Drew Aller as being the guy. I mean, it would be the story, local kid from Menor goes to Penn State and then comes back to the Browns and turns to franchise. They've already said it'd be the Bernie Kosar-esque kind of story because he's Bernie being from Boardman, goes to Miami, comes here, and he becomes. And the thing is, I hate to say this because I did like Bernie. People make it sound like Bernie Kosar was like on the same level as like Dan Marino and John Elway. He was nowhere close to them. The guy did not have a winning. He was barely over 500 as a starter as a quarterback, and his numbers, even for back then, were not like great. He was just that. The local, it seems like we always prop up the local kids to make them better than they are. Not that Bernie didn't lead this team, but he had. I mean, look at the teams he had around.
For the love of God, we got behind Charlie Fry.
I know. Well, the only thing is he went to Akron. I mean, but everybody was all excited about Hoyer when Brian Hoyer was here as well. And then they wanted us to bring in Elvis Gerbach was another one. They said, "Oh, bring him in because he's a local kid." It's like, no. But I mean, like I said, I love Bernie, but
we have to grasp at things that are attainable for us. Those are the guys we know they're not going to take us to a Super Bowl, so we hang on to the fact that they get it.
They know it's like. Well,
they get it.
The only local kid that actually lived up to any of the hype that took us there was LeBron taking the the Cavs to the title, and it took him him leaving and coming back. I mean, he led the team. What year was it? They went to the finals and got swept by the Spurs.
2007.
Was it 07?
Yeah, I was working that. I was down there working that.
Okay, they were well ahead of schedule there, and then they didn't get back to the finals until when he came back from Miami, and because they would get to the Eastern Conference, semis, and they would lose you get knocked out by Orlando, or they get knocked out by Detroit, and then they would go and they don't or Boston or whoever it was, they would get knocked out in the playoffs, and then LeBron left, went and won his title in Miami, came back, and then we got to those finals with the Golden State, and we'd always lose, and then until 2016 we won it, and then he left again, and now LeBron's afterthought in my mind. I mean, he's great, all-time scoring.
He's a Barbie down now.
I know. I actually was considering buying one of those things, but they're at $75. I'm like,
yeah, I'd buy it if it was cheaper just to have it.
Well, I'd buy it just to save it, and it's going to be a collector's item.
Yeah,
you realize in 5 years people are going to be selling it for like $5K.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I'm
not paying that
spending-
much for it.
I'm not paying $75 for. I don't want a LeBron Barbie. I don't know, but yeah. So it'll be interesting. It's gonna suck because I won't. I'd say it's not gonna suck, but I'm gonna miss the draft. I mean, I won't be here for it. And you guys, if you guys do a show, I don't know what you guys' plans are for next week.
We gotta talk about it yet.
Yeah, you guys gotta. I could. I'm still around for the rest of the week. It's until we leave Friday, but I can help you guys load stuff. But whatever, we'll talk about that later. So, finally, we'll get into the final stuff. So we got a couple of things. We've got the trending stuff, which I always go too far on this thing here. We got Jesse's memes. And we've got this. We got a couple things, memes and news stuff. So I'm going to start off. I can't remember which one is this the one?
What?
So I'm going to start with this one. It's a news story. I think I kind of teased it earlier. The Publishers Clearinghouse. Let's play this quick. You guys remember this?
Watch your mail. For American families, all new $1 million prizes, and the biggest prize of all, $10 million. It can be yours next month in America's only sweepstakes with my picture. Watch for it and enter today.
Well, that's the American. That's not the one.
Yeah, that's not the one.
Yeah, I grabbed the wrong one there, but it's still.
But we all thought that was him. We all thought that was Publishers Clearinghouse.
No, he actually did the Publishers Clearinghouse one there.
Did
he did it early. He did like 10 years earlier, but
okay.
Anyway, so Publishers Clearinghouse, the sweepstate, they filed for bankruptcy. I think I might have had did I do the overlay for it? I don't think I did. No, I didn't download this. Oh, here it is. Yeah, today they made a decision to suspend their clearinghousing, and as of June 23rd, the FCC ordered Publishers Clearinghouse to pay $18.5 million to consumers to make up for some changes in how it does business. So they got like sued, and they got some lawsuits that went in on it. So in order to try to stay afloat or whatever they did, they decided that they're going to file for bankruptcy, which I thought was funny because you always remember those growing up, the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes. Everybody would win millions of dollars.
I was going to say, I don't even know what the hell they actually did.
They got money.
It's a Ponzi scheme. That's what people always said it was. Like, didn't you have to like pay something?
You didn't have to, but if you ordered stuff, your chances were better.
Right. So that's how they made their money, is you buy things and then.
I honestly had no idea. I've never entered one. I've never done it. I never knew. I've always heard of it.
Right.
But I didn't know they sold things or.
It was always, and you notice the ones that always won were the ones that lived like in the trailer parks, or it was the ones with either those. If you look at the people that were,
they're the ones that are just going to turn right back around and jump on QVC and spend it all right back.
Pretty much, yeah. So Publishers Clearinghouse just filed for bankruptcy today, or this week, whatever it was, too. So the other trending thing was, this was Dustin here, is fried chicken flavored toothpaste sells out shortly after it's introduced. A new toothpaste was inspired by all KFC's 11 herbs and spices. So it's a chicken flavored toothpaste. I'm trying to see, did it say how much they charged for it? I want to see if it's on this website.
I don't think it's cost.
No, they don't have the price there. It's like biting into a hot and juicy piece of KFC's original recipe chicken. This toothpaste is irresistible, coating your teeth in flavor before leaving your mouth feeling like being fresh and clean. That's what the Kentucky-based fast food chain said about their toothpaste. KFC partnered with toothpaste manufacturer Hismali or whatever to unveil a newest dental hygiene product for a limited time. They said, quote, "We love pushing boundaries, and what better way to do it than by bringing KFC's legendary flavors to an everyday essential," the marketing manager of this place, Coben Jones, said. It's a collab is bold, unexpected, and seriously fun. Apparently, finger-licking good toothpaste appeals to the oral care-minded public. It sold out in 48 hours. Here it is. They said it's still available. You can always. Oh, I'm sorry. They have an electric toothbrush that it's available for $59 right now. I don't think that's it. That's just some girl brushing her teeth. So yeah, KFC has a. Yeah, I know. I don't think when I brush my teeth, I don't think about having the taste of fried chicken in my mouth, especially KFC's fried chicken, because it's nasty.
Yeah,
it's really gone downhill.
No, you gotta have the mint.
Yeah, well, I don't want to taste like I just bit into like a greasy ass piece of chicken. And remember, we used to put the Jesse remembers we used to stick the we when our friend
as a tenna.
He used to work. Our friend Dave used to work at the KFC. Which is now a Dunkin' Donuts, which is kind of funny. They used to work at the KFC when we'd be going out to like midnight bowling or hanging out, whatever. We'd go there and he'd be working, closing down, and he'd always give us like the leftover, like the last bits of chicken. He'd give us the chicken. We'd go out to his car. We'd steal his skin over his car. We put him under his windshield wipers. We put him like on his
every week.
Every week he would do this to him. And it's like the guy would give it to us for free, and we were like. He's giving us the leftover stuff. He's being all nice to us, and we're putting it all over his. I remember the one time he gave us a thing of coleslaw, and it was in the lid, and I stuck it in his antenna. Well, no, I stuck the bottom through his antenna, and he didn't realize that it was there, and he was driving, and things like bouncing back and forth. And then finally the lid it fell off, and it landed on his windshield, and like splattered all over his windshield.
I don't remember that.
He was all pissed off. He pulled into the bowling alley and he was like, "You motherfuckers!" He goes, "That coleslaw was all over." I'm like, "You're lucky. I was going to put gravy on there instead, but it did with the mashed potatoes." And then we used to put like the stuff like all over his like window. Like somebody poured like the gravy all over the back of his windshield.
That was not me.
It wasn't
that is
me either.
Chicken. I don't know who did that.
I don't remember who did it either. They opened the lid, and they dumped it all over the back of his car or the top of his car, and then like drizzled down the back of his back window. It's like, oh man.
I always thought I was an asshole.
It wasn't me. I didn't do that. We did the chicken, and I did the coleslaw thing, which he knew. I admitted I did the coleslaw.
Yeah, I told him. He saw us do the chicken.
But he'd walk out and see the chicken there. He's like, "You guys." And then he would throw it all over the place. And that's up there with when we used to put shopping carts in Gerbil's trunk or back of his truck and stuff. Yeah. All right. So here's some of the Jesse, like the memes and a lot of these old commercials. This one is just still creeps me out here, this first one.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Hey! 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Like I really give a shit what Cyndi Lauper thinks, with her fake accent and that just creeps me out. Who the fuck is that?
Creepy.
Who's that first? Grace Jones. Who the fuck?
Grace Jones. She was a singer.
So we've gone from our kids go out and they do whatever the hell they want, and now the parents have to be reminded, hey, it's 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Might want to check on where your kids are. To now my car reminds me to check my back seat every time I shut it off.
I turn that off in my car.
I don't even know if I can. I laughed the first time when I got this car. I shut the car off, and it was like, don't forget to check your back seat.
Yeah.
It's such a sad
annoying.
I mean, well, it's annoying. It's the fact that it has to be there. It's like putting the warning label on hot coffee. It's like you ordered a hot coffee. No shit, it's going to be hot, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, it's just the fact that somebody, like, you always have to remember, for every stupid warning label,
there's a reason for it.
There is a reason, yes.
Did it that caused that warning label?
I know, and it's like we were talking earlier, eating Tide Pods. I mean, who in their fucking right mind would eat detergent? Well, some idiotic teenager did, and now we got to deal with the whatever. All right, here's the next one. I don't know how real this one is, but it's pretty funny.
Leave me alone.
Well, we just wanted to...
I said leave me alone.
You want trouble, huh?
Cal. After any of the stun techniques, run like you've never run before.
That's not the one I thought it was, but that was pretty funny.
Kick his ass kicked.
He slapped and that kid would not have gone down like that. They would have chased him down.
Leave me alone.
They would have run down and chased him down and beat his ass.
There's two of them. They both one beat him.
Right. And that was from clearly out of the 90s.
Have to overcome that secondary pow.
I think this is the one I was talking about.
IGA makes party planning easy. Clint bought Wonder Bread, Smucker's grape jelly, and Jif peanut butter.
I'm throwing a family picnic.
Donald bought Doritos, a 2-liter of Pepsi, and Manwich Sloppy Joe sauce.
I'm having a football party.
Vic bought a raw chicken, a cucumber, Skittles, a bungee cord, condoms, and a single bullet.
I'm gonna
I want to say I hope that I want that to be true.
I want it to be true so bad.
I don't think you've ever been able to buy a single bullet at an IGA.
You might have back in the 80s.
You never know.
Back in the 80s, you could buy all kinds of weird shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that was great. All right, here's the next one.
Imagine a world where time drifts slowly. A world where music carries you away. Experience pure moods, the perfect soundtrack for your way of life. Direct from Europe, this multi-platinum collection has won the hearts of millions. Set adrift with the timeless pleasures of Tubular Bells. Or take a trip into the unknown with the X-Files theme. No other collection gives you the feeling of pure moods. To order Pure Moods, call the number.
I do
that commercial.
I do remember that
I can't
commercial.
even tell you how many times I have woken up on the couch during those years to either that or the what was the other one? The Time Life collections.
Oh yeah, do you remember when they would sell those encyclopedias?
Mm-hmm.
There too. Do you remember how in the late 90s? Do you remember how freaking popular freaking Enigma was?
Oh yeah. Enya and Enigma.
Enigma, and then you had the Tubular Bells, dude.
Dude, I've actually got Tubular Bells on vinyl.
Oh, do you have Enigma on vinyl? That's the question.
No, I don't have Enigma. You
should. God. All right, you got two more of these. I'm going to save the best one for last. The one I know for a fact. This one's the one. The one of them is really funny. I always find it really good. Here's the next one.
All right, you make the call. I'm not making the call. You make the call. Fine, you read the number. Okay, we'll read the number. And Baker. 555 76 20.
Hello?
Hi.
Who's this?
A secret admirer.
Oh, you are, huh?
I saw you on the street the other day.
Oh, yeah?
Maybe we could get together.
Well, I'll have to call you back.
Oh, I didn't give out my number.
Oh, that's okay. I've got it already. 555-3298. By the way, is your mother there?
To get Bell Atlantic caller ID, call 1-800-237-4900.
Ruined the fun if we had it as child. Caller ID.
Right calls.
I think that one kid has been in some. The kid that was like, "I'm not calling, you call it." The kid that gave the one kid the phone. I think he's been in other movies.
Sure, probably has.
All right, and the final one. I don't know why. I always find this one really great. They should bring these back. We should get Rev on this.
Hi, my name's Mike, and if you're sitting there watching this tape smoking your cigarette, well, hit the fast forward button, because I don't smoke and I don't like people who do smoke.
Hi, I'm Maurice. I'm an executive by day and a wild man by night.
Early to rise makes a woman healthy, wealthy, and wise. That's why you're wiser than me. It's Stephen.
Hi, my name is Phil. Most of my friends call me Big Phil.
I'm not afraid to get sand on my tuxedo if you're not afraid to let the wind mess your hair up a little bit when I take the top down.
I took a sponge ball, was pulling him out of a little girl's ear, looking for the goddess. Are you the goddess? Who is the goddess?
The goddess is the woman, is a woman, is any woman, is all women.
A figure that is sexy, slim, tight, excellent legs.
Life is a playground, and I want somebody to play with.
I'm interested in most phases of data processing.
I'm really looking for somebody I can feel special about, and I don't encounter people like that very often, and I'm hoping you're one of them.
The Viking guy got a lot of dates.
I want to know Maurice got any. He's an executive by day and a wild man by night.
I'll get sand in my tuxedo. You let your hair down. Okay.
The sad part is there's more of those type videos out there.
Oh, there's tons of them.
We should get one for every week.
I'll find them. I'll get them.
Oh, those will be easy to get.
Oh, they're easy to find. Yeah.
Healthy, wealthy, and wise. That's why you're wiser than me. Early to bed, early to rise. Oh man. All right. Well, that's all I got. This is actually the first show we did. It went over 2 hours.
Yeah.
Just realized we just hit the 2 hour and 1 minute mark, and that included our Boopus song, our Food and Fat song. I mean. All right, guys. That's it for tonight. I won't be seeing you guys for at least 2 weeks, probably 3. I'll be back on the May 9th show. Hopefully you guys will do something in my absence. We haven't talked about it yet, so whatever. Maybe I'll give you guys some video footage to play while we're over in
9 hours in Mike's flight.
No, I won't be doing that. But when we get there, I jokingly told me and my son keep laughing about it. We said we're going back to the motherland. I said, well, I'm going back to the motherland where it all began for our ancestors, I guess. We'll see. So, all right, guys. We will see you guys. Well, I'll see you guys when I get back in 3 weeks.
Careful, have fun.
I will. And I'm sure I'll talk to you before then. Yeah. You'll find me a nice Greek girl and not come back.
Woo.
I don't know. All right, guys. Great show. We'll see you next time on No Scripts Required. Adios.
No scripts required to live. No scripts required. Let's take this ride. Energy's high. We're feeling inspired. Rocking the show. Let's set the fire. No scripts required. Just let it flow. Feel the music deep in your soul. No rules, no limits. We're breaking free. This is where we're meant to be. Guitars screaming, drums beating loud. No scripts required, we're breaking through the crowd. Sing it out, let your voice be heard. This is our moment.